Hello everyone, so this tarot reading is for the collective, and the question that I'm focusing on today is what patterns in your behaviour need awareness to change? I think this might be a little bit of a longer reading, so just bear with, but I really like the message that I'm picking up, okay? So when I was getting ready for your reading, there was two things that came through that started to, one was a song that I channeled and another one was a smell. Now the song that I started to channel was Heroes by David Bowie. We can be heroes just for one day. Oh, I fucking love it. So that song is really interesting, and it just fits perfectly with this reading. Because that's a song about carrying the energy of resilience, strength, and rising above difficult situations. You know, it definitely feels like a reminder that even in challenging moments, there is a stronger version of you that can definitely rise through it. And the next thing that happened was I could strongly smell, I don't know what's happening with my nose recently, but I could strongly smell wet dog. I don't have a dog and I have a cat, but she's outside. But it was just very intense, and it actually made me feel quite sicky. And then once I kind of acknowledged it, it disappeared. And I thought about it, and now to me, there's a few things that I picked up with that. That to me links to instincts, emotional awareness, and something that lingers. Okay, now it can reflect emotional situations that feel uncomfortable as well, or hard to ignore, because that smell that was making me feel sicky, or something that has been sitting there needing to be acknowledged rather than avoided. Okay, and that's what I feel with this little bit with this reading. Or it could be, this reading's for somebody that's just gone to a beach with a dog and the dog's wet. Who knows? Right, let's talk about the cards. So, animal oracle cards, you've got rattlesnake, that came out reversed, and I usually just put the deck down once one card comes out, because I don't really want to have a lot of cards when I'm doing these type of readings. But I felt the urge to keep going, and then emu spirit came out. Now, to me, there definitely is very much a powerful message around transformation, releasing, and also doing something with the emo spirit differently as well. Now, the rattlesnake carries this energy of shedding, healing, and transformation, going through something uncomfortable, even painful, but coming out of it stronger, wiser, and more aligned, okay? But in reverse, it's kind of like this shows hesitation. Definitely with what I'm picking up with the Six of Cups, but there's something here it feels like it's already been outgrown, but you're still holding on to it. Okay, that's normal. That's a normal thing. We all do that. But I do want to say, shedding is not comfortable. If you think about it, like let's say for example you've got a tattoo. It itches, it's irritating, it can feel extremely frustrating sometimes, and it can take a while for it to heal as well. But that stage is part of the process. Growth doesn't skip the uncomfortable part, okay? And I think about, if you think about it with the snake, if it doesn't, how do I say it? Like, if it doesn't shed its skin properly, this is going to sound dramatic, it can become very unwell or even die, yeah? So imagine really holding on to something that isn't good for you anymore, or like a draining job, or a relationship that hurts you, or an old mindset. It doesn't just stay the same. What happens, it starts to slowly affect everything. Your energy, your confidence, your health, even your appearance, or how you show up and feel within yourself, okay? So I feel like there is a pattern here of holding on to what has already been outgrown, even when it's quietly affecting you more than you realise, okay? Now, with the emu, this brings in that, a shift in approach, because this is about stopping. Because it says here, this is a good time to go on a new adventure. So this is really about stopping the cycle of reacting the same way or avoiding discomfort, and instead choosing something completely different. It's not about rushing or forcing change, but it's more about moving with awareness, pausing, grounding yourself, and then responding in a way that supports your growth rather than like repeating old patterns. Now, the Six of Cups, that really does bring in the past and the inner child. There's two things that really stood out to me. Two things really stood out to me with this card, okay? To me, there is something here that still lingers, whether it's memories, emotions, or past experiences that haven't fully been released, because I'm really drawn to the snow. Well, that was the first thing that I was drawn to. Now, the snow is important because with this being on the card, how do I say this? 'Cause snow, right, bear with me because my brain's going really fast. Snow doesn't stay forever, okay? Snow is meant to melt. So something, to me, it feels like with the Six of Cups, something from the past is being held on longer than it needs to be, okay? I've brought that up now quite a few times, and I think that's why I was being drawn to the snow. But this isn't as well about letting go of the past. It's also about how you take care of yourself whilst you're going through it. Because something happened when I was looking at this card. But I feel that there is a real importance here around your inner child. Because a part of you doesn't just disappear when life gets difficult. It feels everything. Yeah, when I was looking, I feel uncomfortable saying this, but I'm still going to say it. When I was with an ex, because when I was looking at this card, I kind of had the flashback of this, and I kind of understood why I had the flashback. So there was something I was going through kind of difficult with an ex, and I was not really knowing what I was walking back to every time I was going to go back home. I never knew even if I had access to even get into my own home, okay? So it was always unpredictable, and it was always challenging. And that kind of situation really puts you in that survival mode, constantly in that fight or flight. And deep down, I could truly and honestly feel my inner child, and it felt scared, it felt unsettled, it felt unsafe, okay? And even though, things felt like that, I still had this awareness of needing to do something, anything that would actually bring even a small moment of peace or happiness, okay? So what I did, even though going for a walk was the problem, or one of the problems, I would still go for a walk at night time, and it would be really late at night. Again, not knowing what I was going to go into. I didn't even knew if I was going to be able to have access to actually get into my own home, okay? But I needed to clear my head. And I made sure on the walk that I would, because it was nighttime, nobody could see me, and it was late, I would sit on the swing at the park. And I would push myself back and forth in the dark where no one would see me. Or what I'd do is I would go on a bike ride, and I would go down a really big hill, just to feel that sense of freedom. But also, like, that's something that my inner child would really enjoy, okay? That's something that I enjoy doing. My inner child enjoys doing stuff like that. So I made sure I was doing, even if it's just for a few moments, I gave my inner child a bit of joy, a bit of freedom, a bit of happiness, okay? Because those moments, might seem small, but they really weren't. And that was me giving my inner child something that it needed, but wasn't really getting. Does that make sense? I needed that safety, that freedom, a break from fear, even just for a moment to feel okay. So I was doing anything, just little small things, going on a swing, going on my bike. I can't really think of another thing, but yeah, that's what really was being highlighted to me with this card, okay? So yes, there is a release happening, but there's also this responsibility in your inner world. Your inner child really needs care, joy, and moments of lightness, especially during this transformation, this change. Healing isn't only about letting go; it's about rebuilding safety within yourself whilst you do. Now, the Magician, I'm so sorry if I don't know if I'm making sense to you. The Magician reverse really highlights a pattern of not fully trusting or recognising your own abilities. So there are gifts here, natural skills and intuitive strengths, but you might be like doubting or overlooking them. And there can be uncertainty about direction or how to bring ideas into reality as well with the Magician being reversed. And I feel this is why part of the guidance here is about self-discovery. It might be important to explore what your gifts actually are through reflection, learning, or even actually guidance from, like others who can help you see what you might not fully recognise in yourself yet. And there is more within you that I want to, definitely want to say this, like, there is more within you that you are really currently giving yourself credit for, okay? I don't think you're seeing that. Now, with the Wheel of Fortune, that brings in, that's a kind of destiny and cycles. This is not just repetition. God, I forgot the word. Like repetition, it's a turning point. So there is deeper path unfolding here, and it carries to me a sense of being aligned with something bigger than just day-to-day experiences. So this can strongly point to a path of guidance, healing, or supporting others. Exactly what the snake says. The experience that you're presently going through are an initiation into fulfilling your purpose as a healer. So yeah, I do feel like this Wheel of Fortune is getting you to it's like fated, it's destined for you to be in this cycle, so you can actually support others in some ways as well, okay? There is definitely a feeling that you are already on a path of becoming someone who understands transformations deeply as well. Definitely possibly a healer in your own way, but it's something that's developed through experience and awareness, not something you simply arrive at overnight, okay? And the wheel also shows that change is like inevitable, yeah, but how you move with it, what is what shapes the outcome. So this is like a moment of stepping out of a repeating cycle and into something more aligned with who you are actually becoming. Now, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, I don't know, I just feel like there may still be old ideas around stability, security, or long-term foundations that are no longer fulfilling you. So this can be, this can keep you like attached to situations out of like familiarity, or rather than like alignment, okay? Even when something inside you knows you've outgrown it. So, yeah. There's definitely 100% there's a cycle being highlighted. There's also like this holding on energy, or reacting or avoiding. And there's also this like revisiting the past, or doubting yourself, and repeating possibly patterns. So I feel that a shift really comes from like becoming more aware in those key moments and choosing differently, okay? Let go of what no longer fits, learning to respond instead of reacting, and healing the past while also caring as well, more than anything, for that inner child in the present, and exploring your gifts as well, and trusting your abilities a lot more deeply, my darling. And actually as well, I want to say that, it's really important to recognise that this process is not random with this Wheel of Fortune being here. This is a part of a larger unfolding path that is shaping who you're becoming. This is not just about releasing and shedding. It's about transformation, awareness, and actually stepping into a version of yourself that's more aligned, more grounded, and more connected to, I don't know, like your own inner guidance, my darling. So I hope this reading's helped. Have a good day. Bye.